Despite having zero experience in mountain climbing, Maurice Wilson attempted to climb Mount Everest with no proper equipment or clothing. He was rejected by all the authorities, but he distinguished himself as a monk to make his dream come true. Did he succeed in climbing Everest? How did he do it? Before we unravel this mystery, smash the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss a single video from Mountaineers. In 1932, Wilson was on his world tour after leaving the army. He faced difficulties adjusting to post-civilian life and felt lost. He faced severe health issues as well. In such a situation, he came across an article on George Mallory and Andrew Irvine. It was about two people who lost their lives as they tried to travel to the top of the world's largest mountain. The article portrayed them as heroes, and it leaves a question of whether they would be the first ones to successfully climb Mount Everest. This inspired Wilson to try mountain climbing. He didn't want to try it for once, but he wanted to create a legacy of his own by ascending Mount Everest successfully. Wilson had zero experience and no knowledge of mountain climbing. Many experienced climbers were reluctant to climb Everest as they knew how dangerous it was, but Wilson had other plans on his mind. He wanted to climb the mountain alone, and he was in a state of mind where he would do anything to achieve it. He started training his mind and body by adopting fasting as well as praying. He also told everyone that there was a man in London whom he met on his world tour, one who could cure people's diseases. The dream of climbing Everest took up a major part of his day as he could only think about it. Once he decided to pay for an aircraft to fly to Mount Everest, and with the help of a parachute, he would land on Everest. Wilson returned to England, and the first thing he did was purchase a Gypsy Moth DH-60 biplane. He also joined the London Airplane Club, which was located at the Stag Lane Aerodrome in Edgware, London. Wilson wanted to be capable enough to fly the aircraft, and he took classes for it. A rigorous training period of 2 months, he could fly the aircraft with no major errors. One thing Maurice failed to do was succeed in mountain climbing. He never took training to study the basics of mountain climbing. He had this belief in himself to ace it without any professional aid. His plan to crash land his aircraft on Everest was rejected. He didn't get any necessary permissions to execute it. He was denied all access to Mount Everest with his aircraft. All these incidents didn't let him change his plans. Instead, he flew to India to get crash landing approval for Mount Everest. His aircraft got impounded by the authorities, and he had no option but to let go of it by selling it. Now Maurice had no aircraft to execute his plans. He decided to ascend Everest on his feet, but he was denied that too. Maurice tried to dress up as a Tibetan monk and told the hotel authorities that he was going for an adventurous tiger shoot. He paid them well in advance to make it believable. Are you enjoying the video so far? Press the like button and keep watching. He reached the Rongbuk monastery as a disguised monk. They accepted him and treated him like one of them. He pretended to be deaf and dumb. He tried to climb Mount Everest, but he failed miserably as he lacked the proper equipment to survive the harsh climatic condition of Everest. He had entered his failed experience of mountain climbing in the diary. 2 Sherpas showed him the route to Mount Everest. He decided to give it a try, but he could only succeed till Camp 3. He broke his ribs in an avalanche, which slowed down his progress in mountain climbing. The 2 Sherpas had to abandon him as he was adamant to complete the climb. He tried to continue the climb on his own, but it was too difficult. He eventually didn't survive the mighty Mount Everest and soon faced death. What do you think is the reason for Maurice Wilson's death? Do you still want to climb Everest? Let us know in the comments.